Hello. One of the most frequent sort of questions I get is about note taking. So Ifra Omar has come up with an interesting question here. Thanks so much for these. I'm taking notes and using this to revise, but I was wondering that if everyone who uses these videos recites the ideas here, which are targeting A star, wouldn't they lose marks because we're essentially not using original ideas? Well, the first thing I'd like to say, which you can test for yourself by watching videos that other YouTubers have made, is that the ideas I give you are different. They are more unusual and I hope more in depth than other YouTubers are giving. If they're not, they are still original. Now, the difficulty for you is, well, if you write them in the exam, are they original or are you just taking my ideas? And that's the wrong way to look at it. If you think about any kind of learning you do, you actually consider what you've heard and what you've read, and you internalize it for yourself. You make sense of it yourself. And if you can then make sense of it in exam conditions, then those ideas are now your ideas. It doesn't matter where they originally came from. And, if you just think back to your lessons in class, you'll get ideas either from the teacher or your friends or listening to class discussion, and you weigh them up and see whether you like them or not. And the ones that you like become your ideas. What makes them original isn't whether they've been heard before, it's how far you've considered them and how you link them to other ideas in the text. And this brings me to what sorts of notes you should take. I've just started copying subtitles to some of my Inspector Calls videos because I'm trying to write a revision guide. And I'm adding these subtitles to the videos, and I'm wondering whether or not they're actually helpful to my students or whether they'll get in the way. For example, what would happen if you just copy and pasted all my subtitles, all the notes? Would that actually help you? Well, there is an answer. The answer comes from the Wall Street Journal, so a New York magazine, published in print and online. This one's dated the 4th of April 2016, and it looks at a study of university students, compared the notes that students made on laptops or using organizer apps that were available online, or using pen and paper. And what the study found was that students who used pen and paper learned more over the long term. In the short term, people learn more by using the laptops because they just wrote down everything that the teacher said. They could write many more words per minute. So those with a laptop wrote 33 words per minute and were able to keep up with a lot of what was said. And those who wrote by hand could only write 22 words per minute and therefore couldn't keep up. Well, this is what's called a desirable difficulty. So your memory needs things to be a little bit difficult for you to remember things better. So the day after, people who had typed remembered more, but 24 hours after, the people who wrote had learned more than the people who typed. Well, why might that be? Well, one of the problems is that laptop users just wrote down what they heard, but the people who wrote in longhand couldn't do that. And so therefore they had to think really hard about what they were writing. And because they thought hard about it, that resulted in them remembering more. Let me see if I can find you the quotation. Here we go. Those who wrote out their notes longhand took down fewer words, but appeared to think more intensely about the material as they wrote, and digested what they heard more thoroughly. So all that effort helps you learn. That's what I mean by the desirable difficulty. And then finally, writing by hand encoded the information more deeply in memory, experts said. Longhand notes were better for review because they were more organised. So when you're taking longhand notes, you cross bits out and move things about in order to organise them in a better way. So that's exactly how to use my videos and any other videos that you watch online. Don't watch them passively. Take notes, not word for word, but key concepts and ideas, and show how they're organised. If you'd like more tips on how to revise, please subscribe for more videos.